It's a strobe light. Oh. Strobe light. This is the awkward part because I have to walk by all the people standing in the line. Hi guys, it's a beautiful day. Okay, I wanted to show you. I was in my pajamas walking the dog, and then I saw that these mounds of paper that were just like shredded documents on the street, and I was like, oh, I need that. Why? I don't know. But so I put the dog inside and came back out with a big plastic bag, and I was like on my hands and knees. Oh, here's that tree fell down. There was a storm last night. On my hands and knees collecting this paper, and people kept giving me very strange looks. And yes, just like that, strange looks. Just have to get good with being a person walking around talking to myself, talking to you, dear audience. And at one point this woman walked by and said something to me in French. She's an older lady, and I don't know what she said because my French is... My partner is always saying, you speak French. And I'm like, well, seems like a stretch. Anyway, didn't know what she was saying. It was clearly a joke that I didn't understand. And so I just smiled at her. Mick said I should tell people that I'm an artist when things like that happen. But then my neighbor walked by, and he's so sweet. He said, my deepest sympathies. If I wasn't late for work, I'd stop and help you. So I don't know what people thought I was trying to collect these shredded up documents because they were mine, or was trying to save them. It was very odd though, because it was just like two big piles of shredded documents just on the ground in front of the hair salon. But it really just felt like one of those special finds. Oh, this is... I just love that you can still see the little shreds confettiing around the sidewalk days later. It's quite beautiful today. Yesterday was very gloomy. You wouldn't even know it's August. And even today I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt, but there's a nip in the air. Very mild August. But what I was thinking about, and I want to talk about today, is this thing that happened earlier in the summer, which was there was a whale sighting in the St. Lawrence River in late May, early June, I think. I heard about it because Mick heard about it on the radio, and they have never seen a whale, and so they were really preoccupied with the fact that there was this whale in the St. Lawrence. And we said we'd go and try to see it. There were a lot of people who are gathering on the, like, kind of in the old port near the river, trying to watch the whale. And it's actually really sweet because there's so many people that were interviewed for the news and stuff who were waiting for the whale, and they were just so happy to see the whale and that it was here. The scientists that I read and like watched videos of them like said sometimes whales like get lost or they're chasing food, but it seems like what people think is that this whale just had an adventurous spirit and decided to swim up the St. Lawrence River from Tiohtià, where a lot of humpback whales, it was a humpback whale, I didn't say that, I don't think. Humpback whales spend the summer, the warmer months in Tiohtià, and this whale just decided to go on a little adventure. Just a young adventuring animal. That's what the scientists said. A lot of people were really concerned about the welfare of this whale. And there's lots of beautiful pictures of her breaching and playing in the river. And it didn't seem to the scientists like there was anything necessarily wrong with her, like that she necessarily had an illness. She seemed healthy. They were worried about her being able to get enough food in that area of the river and for the food to be nutritious enough. And then also, of course, like whales live in salt water, and I guess like what is it called, the St. Lawrence Seaway where Tiohtià is brackish water. It's where the St. Lawrence meets the ocean. So they just kind of hoped that she would, the whale was a female, they eventually determined. They hoped that she would just kind of find her way back. And she was pushing up the river, but like struggling to swim against the current because it's quite strong. And their main worry was that she would be in danger of getting hit by a boat because there's lots of traffic around Montreal. She was kind of around for a week playing. People were so happy, and then we stopped seeing her on the 7th of June, I think. And then on the 9th of June, there was a helicopter pilot or something who spotted the body of a dead whale from the air. I keep putting my finger on the button and pressing it off before I'm done talking. The park is full of people today. Very beautiful. Might have to find an alternative location. Oh yeah, the outdoor yoga class. Apparently Jelly got off her leash and ran through that class a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna try another park. I have lots of backup plans. Oh, there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little chihuahua. So small. So, they ended up getting the whale out of the river and doing an autopsy. And I guess some people wanted to go and see the autopsy, but it's kind of intense to see pictures and see pictures of her just being lifted up by her tail. And they weren't sure why she might have died. They thought maybe she had an illness, or maybe she was malnourished. But then a few days later, after they did the autopsy, they announced that they believe that she had been struck by a boat in the river. My partner Mick was devastated because, like I said, they'd never seen a whale and they really wanted to go and see her. But didn't have a chance.
shared information, they actually might come in as shared feelings, shared emotional experiences. Jarrison thought that this might give rise to something called the communal self, meaning that whales and dolphins might not say I, they might always be a we. We are sad, we are sick. And there's some evidence for this. So like in whale strandings, for example, when a bunch of whales will come up to the shore and do studies on the whales, we find out that maybe only 1 or 2 in 100 was actually sick. Something is going on here, and I think it may be we sick. So, I don't want to end on that super sad note, guys. So, this is a case of sperm whales who adopted a deformed dolphin. So, a dolphin with a spinal abnormality who they welcomed into their pod. So, sperm whales, man. It also might be why whales and no, I know. I'm gonna lose just because it's sad. Okay, I'm gonna tell you one really nice thing, and then we're gonna turn it over to the mystery animal over here. It also might be why dolphins and whales, there's so many reports of them coming to the aid of swimmers who are struggling.